is post-holiday season and I am ready to do a little R&R with Architectural Digest and Celebrity Home. So I'm back, to talk through some other ones, try to give you advice on how to get the look, maybe products that look similar that don't cost a salary. But today I'm very excited because this is one of my all-time favorite guys, Ray Romano. I watched Everybody Loves Raymond, Men of a Certain Age. I love all the movies he's been in, his seasons in Parenthood. I'm a huge Ray Romano fan. I once sat next to him at Sugarfish, and I just sweat the whole time. I had the decency to not bother him. But this is also done by one of my favorite designers, Nate Berkus. I love his products. I love his hair. I love his husband. I love the color palette he dresses his kids in. I try to do it for my son as well, although it's difficult. So here we go.
Hey AD, Ray Romano here. Welcome to my house in the desert. This is where I come to get away and hide out. Obviously it's not working well because you're all here. But come on in, you're here, let's go.
I loved that living space. I think the couch was great. All those walls are just white, and it's nice because you kind of forget about them because there's so much outdoor space, but the room didn't feel cold. It felt warm and inviting. It was layered. There was, multiple coffee tables. There was the bench in front of the fireplace. Clearly he likes to watch football on Sunday, so it's a big couch centered around the TV, but it didn't necessarily feel like that was the sole purpose of the room. That couch, I don't know where it's from, but I love it. But I do know that Nate and Jeremiah have a line at Living Spaces, and they have got a big old sectional that has the vibe of that one. So I'm going to shout out to that line since Nate did the home. But in my house, we also like to watch football on Sundays. I know nothing about football, and I generally rotate my favorite teams for the season. But nonetheless, we plant our tushes on that couch all day and watch sporting ball. That was a great kitchen. My wife is Italian, and she generally likes to cook, seems like Ray's wife does, and we also have an island that seats 7, and I think no matter how hard you try, everybody will sit in your kitchen. And so we'll put food in the dining room, in the living room to try to move people out of the kitchen, and they don't move out of the kitchen. They go get food and come back to the kitchen. So when you're thinking about your kitchen space like that, corner seating is really nice if you can make it work. It's easier for conversation, and I think having something big enough to prep as well as to entertain is really nice. I loved the color palette. It was light and airy. The oak was really pretty. All the natural light that came in was great. And I think, if you're planning your kitchen, if you can't get natural light, think about decorative, lighting, task lighting, multiple layers. You can even put lamps in your kitchen, something to bring in light and give mood, because you will be there for a long time. I find sometimes we're there all day on a Sunday because my wife will make a gravy that's Italian for sauce that will take 7 hours to prep. So, you want a comfortable seat and a lot of good lighting. That dining room is great. I am a big fan of a true dining table. I like matching chairs. I like an eclectic look, but I do like a nice, cohesive looking chair set. Those seemed big and comfy. I actually purchased my dining chairs that I've used in another project, and I've also, after I bought mine, I saw Joanna Gaines use them as well, and made me feel really good about myself. But they're very comfortable. They clean up really well. I've probably talked about them before in a video, but regardless, somebody will link those. And they're great because it makes people want to sit at that dining room for a long time. Other theme with that space is it feels intimate. I think an intimate feeling dining room is great. Ours is kind of in an open-ish space, but I still managed to sort of put it in its own little area and define it with lighting. Again, like in that room, they had some great sconce lighting, and you know, and then curate your dining room table. It doesn't cost a lot of money. Mess around with it until you get it right. You can get a lot of great accessories. Right now, I'm loving some of my stuff from CB2 that's on mine, and you know, buy a bunch, return what you don't need, or use it in other areas of your home and just mess around with it and change it out. And fresh flowers is never a bad way to go on your dining room table. Either way, I love that space. Love the outdoor space. And I should say, as we're about halfway through, I probably will love the whole house. And even if I didn't, I wouldn't say so, because if I ever get the chance to be friends with Nate Burkus, I don't want him to go, hey, I looked through and I saw you trash talked one of my projects. So, but I do love it. When you're thinking about your outdoor space, give it time. See how you use the outdoors. You know, whether you have younger children, older children, you entertain a lot, you don't. You'll kind of see what you need over time. And the best thing to do is create different spaces, just like you would inside of a home, where you'd create a living space, a dining space, maybe a TV space. You know, create your lounging space, create your eating space, create another space like with the fire pit that, you know, some ambiance, and, you know, where you could sit alone or sit with people. But you want people to be able to move to different, you know, areas of your backyard. Especially, we're big entertainers, and I find that, you know, if you have 25 people over at your house, you're gonna get pockets of 3 or 4 people kind of shifting around and talking and changing location. And so if you have these defined areas, they can sort of move throughout. It's really great. Outdoor furniture, think about your environment. You know, if you've got a lot of climate, think about material that will hold up. I love cushions outside, but if you're always having to cover them, that can be kind of tough. You can look for something that maybe is a little less high maintenance. In Southern California, it's a bit easier. However, in the wintertime, we still have our rainy season. And so, you know, if stuff's not covered, you're still going to want to take into consideration either having to cover it or the kind of material that it's made out of. So there's a lot of great furniture options out there. I always kind of recommend this company Article. For some reason, I always gravitate to them when I'm looking at outdoor furniture, and I think it's because outdoor furniture can get really expensive really quick, and they've got a lot of very stylish items, you know, in a variety of looks for really good money. So Article is a great place, article.com, to look for, you know, outdoor stuff. And don't forget to accessorize and curate and fourth layer that sucker. Oh, and this is a callback to the dining space. I just thought about this. Those, you know, grates that he put into the wall, when they saw them, they didn't like them or weren't sure about them. You know, if you hire somebody to design your home, let them push you. They see something that you do not see. Nate saw that, and it looks absolutely beautiful in a home that is big, new, and modern. That's a detail, a throwback to, you know, older architecture, where homes had a lot more custom feeling to them in terms of either the woodwork or, you know, the craftsmanship, whatever's going on there, and that provided that. Nate could see that coming to life and working really well and balancing that dining room. So listen to the person you hire.
The one input I had, one of the few inputs, I want the TV close. I like to pop up, so this pops up.
I never put TVs in the bedroom unless somebody makes me.
I guess you call it a painting.
lighting. Look at the lighting above that painting.
Somebody's just smiling.
Bedroom was great. Little bit pops of color, which were nice. I love the headboard, the custom fabric. A lot of the times we like things because we've seen them before. So when you're looking at furniture for your space, especially your bedroom, it's a chance to be playful. Not everybody, I guess it depends on if you're a serial dater or not, but assuming not everybody's going to see your bedroom, take a chance in there, and the headboard's a fun place to do that. I also really loved the dresser on the side. It looked to be vintage, but the stone top was really great, and CB2 is, I think it's CB2. If it's not, we'll cut the audio and I'll say something else and we'll link it. But they've got a really great dresser that sort of reminded me of that with a marble top, and I love it. It's, an added dimension and a feeling of luxury in a bedroom, because when you're in there, you want it to feel luxurious. Other thing I noticed, which I've talked about before, are those, curtains in there. That was beautiful material. West Elm has got great thick velvet blackout curtains in a wide variety of colors and shades, and it's great for your bedroom.
We're in the bathroom.
We have a dance party in here, but it's
Separate vanities.
Taking a shower. I like this. There's soap on a rope. And look at these two little kids. Stupid kids didn't know
that's
what the
us
hell they were doing.
when we were probably 23. I was
And-
23.
I love the bathroom so far, and I have a few thoughts that I want to get out of my head. One, we've been in this for a while where everybody wants these big open showers, and I think it was the pendulum swinging from, the 50s, 60s, 70s when they were making these tiny closed-in little showers. I really love how we're seeing more and more showers that are enclosed but still have good lighting and are spacious to move around in, and that's a great example, because you don't necessarily want to feel like you're on display all of the time when you're in the shower, especially if you're sharing that shower with somebody. So I think having a space that's closed off but spacious is great, and it also helps keep heat in. I always put exhaust vents in my showers. In my personal one, my glass doesn't run all the way to the top. There's a pony wall, and then it goes almost to the top, and I have an exhaust fan there, and so I can have that as steamy as I want, and it takes the moisture right out. Where when you look at some of these new construction builds, or if you're buying something, you're finding the exhaust fan to be over maybe the toilet area or in the center of the bathroom. So if you're redoing your bathroom, I highly recommend exhaust vent. Make sure it's for wet conditions right in the shower. It's great. I love the way they trimmed out the entrance into that shower. It looks beautiful, and I love the picture of them when they are kids, and hopefully right about now you're seeing a picture of my wife and I when we were at the prom dance in a year I will not say. But that's us when I was 18 and she was 17. Pausing in this shot right here because there's so much to talk about. The window treatments, the fabric, it adds a layer of warmth in a very white new room. Selectblinds.com is a place you can measure yourself, you can put it up, it's super affordable. They have a ton of options. I got my personal Roman shades from there, and they were cheap, and I installed them. It's really easy. You level off at the top, anchor or drill into studs, and that's all you have to do. You can use a chain pull, you can just pull down, push up if you like that, or get a remote. They're really, really affordable. Obviously, the shade store, where Nate also has a beautiful line, is fantastic, but if you're on a budget, selectblinds.com is great. Also, look at the lighting above the bunk bed. There's lighting there, there's lighting on the dresser, there's throw pillows, there's books, there's vases, there's a candle. That's making that white new construction box space feel very warm. You've also got different wood tones, the dresser, the floor, and it just creates depth and interest. And that's how, even though that's a very simple palette, it doesn't feel cold and uninviting. Lighting at every bed, outlets at every bed.
Let's say you want to watch a movie like Somewhere in Queens. I don't know.
Really good movie. Reminded me of what my wife's childhood was probably like. All right, so this room is really great. It's a couple of lessons to take from it. Again, lighting. You can see there's tabletop lighting, there's sconce lighting, there's overhead task lighting. You can't see it in this shot, but if you rewind a little bit, there's lighting right where the step is. All of those, you know, couches and chairs, the fabric is really inviting. And then, you know, the walls are the same as the ceiling. I think people get nervous to do things on their ceiling other than make it white because they'll shrink the space. Obviously that happens in some cases, but if you've got a movie room or, you know, a den, a music room, try something on the ceiling. In my home, have a den, and it started out as one thing, and I think now I'm gonna wallpaper the ceiling because I want to bring in another layer. And again, this is one of those spaces not everybody's going into, so get playful, try a different fabric, accessorize, always remember your lighting, and have fun with your ceiling. And I think that's the big lesson from this room, because it makes it warm and inviting, but it in no way shrinks the space. This room is great. I'm gonna just get right into it. The couch is fantastic. I love the color. It is fun. Again, you got all this white space, but you've got, you know, the wood beams, great lighting on the ceiling. You've got the sconce lightings in the back. That table I have selected to use in a project. I'm assuming it's the same table. Maybe it's not, but it looks just like one from Crate and Barrel that I love so much. But you look at this, you know, no matter where you're sitting, whether you're on the couch, whether you're in that chair in the corner, there's a table to set a drink, there's lamps, there's decor, there's some greenery. This, you know, it's just that, it's the perfect mix of light and airy with being warm and inviting. And that's happening because it's not color competing on color. You've got some statement pieces, and you've got layered textures, and you've got layered decor. And it's making this space work really well. You can also see they've kind of repeated the cabinetry throughout the home, which creates some great continuity. So if you're doing a lot of built-ins in your house, repeating it and putting a different twist on it, maybe different handles or a different counter, is a nice way, you know, to create continuity and still having it feel like its own space. The guest space was really, really nice. It was well thought through. If you have a guest room, you want to think about a cozy bed, obviously good window treatments. You want generally a TV in there because it is space your guests might want to retreat to. And then if you have the room for it, you can see they had a couple of different seating areas in there as well, because if somebody's staying with you for an extended period of time, it's nice to not force them to always be in a communal space, because everybody needs to recharge. And so if you've got a guest room that can handle it, make sure to at least put one chair in there that they can sit and read or listen to music or just relax, crack open a magazine. In my guest room, I have a chair, I've got lighting, I've got a TV, and then I've got books and magazines. So if somebody doesn't maybe have something that they want to read, they might find one of our decor books interesting, or some magazines. I have older vintage ones and newer ones, and sometimes it's just nice to be able to flip through something before you take on the day and leave that guest space. So mixing in those different elements is great. And again, mixing vintage with new is great. And a guest room is also a wonderful spot if you want to treat yourself to something new. You can move something that you have loved but is no longer, you know, serving you in your bedroom, and move it over to the guest room and let a guest enjoy it for years to come. Looks like we're getting the montage of all the rooms. Love them. Love all the lighting. Okay, this is it. I hope you found some of that informative. There was lots of stuff. There was pieces from various different places. So comment below if you want any specific links, if you have any questions. If you like these and you like the tips and tricks, it would be great if you would like and subscribe to this, because I'm going to continue to do ton of of overviews on celebrity homes and how you can get the look for less.